Let's begin. All right, on some real tip. You know what I'm saying? With the force of some great hip-hop energy. I am True Omega Sun 88. Oh, man, there's a lot of echo going on. What's going on, Mike? Okay. All right, can you hear me now? I want to echo tip. Get it off. Yeah, I got the board doing some things. Okay, here we go. All right. First and foremost, I like to say wellness and oneness to everybody within these ears. All right. Say No Go is like the... Okay, got you. Say No Go is actually the subtitle for this part 2 thing. Because that Say No Go song was very powerful from De La Soul. And it brought a good... Okay, there we go. It brought a good vibe to the atmosphere at that time. And if you see it up on the YouTube screen, for those that are watching it, I got Coke La Rock. Yeah, Coke La Rock. And this is a reason why I named it Hip Hop Drugs, or, you know, Say No to Drugs and stuff like that. This is a talented MC, one of the originals. Give him respect. Flowers are given all the time when we talk about the originators, those that were courageous enough to get in front of the mic, get busy, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. But names are a very important part to a culture, right? It actually expresses to those that are getting into the culture what exactly they're going to find there, you know. And you run into, you know, the elements. You're fascinated by the lights, the artistry, the music. Everything's coming at you a mile a minute, and you can easily get swept. But we have to also understand that hip hop, you know, as it's turning 50 this year, you know, celebrate to that. It started off really rough. You talk about have nothing, trying to get something. Can you hear me? Nothing into something. You have to deal with all the elements that's around you. And being in the midst of poverty, the midst of despair, you're going to encounter that some of the elements that you work with may be destructive. Right? Maybe that which is weak, you know, it can weaken you in its condition. You know, it may even also incriminate you. Yeah, you know, make you a person, make you a people or a group, no matter what you look like, it will demonize you. And, you know, they used to do this with rock and roll. You know, sex, drugs, and rock and roll was the title, you know. And even before it got there, it was the sexual movements and the pelvic thrust, like Chubby Checker and they say Elvis, you know. Well, we know it was another one, a guy named, I think it was Ben Johnson or something like that. Guy was just wilding with it all across the stage. But it was taking the youth to another level, and it's always going to be with the youth that are innovative, that they are expressive, they want to get their imaginations out there. But, you know, when you run into tough times and, you know, feeding your family is an importance, even at a young age. Broken from the economic situation that was going on, broken by the war, Vietnam, people coming home and not being able to find the resources to properly take care of themselves. So we talk about places like the South Bronx being the dilapidated area. Let me see if I can show you a picture of that. This is hip hop. Okay, you know, I got a bunch of heroes up here. We're going to go through each one of them as much as possible with the open panel. But I want you to see, the conditions where you had, true slumlords that would keep families in there, you know, the dilapidated area. You might get a whole complex with 5 buildings down and 2 buildings up and 3 families in that building. So you're taking the equipment that you had, your moms and pops or your grandpops and grandmoms stereo set, the records, you're putting it together, you're plugging it into the lights on the street. You're also running the cord up maybe into somebody else's house or maybe somebody's vacant apartment and getting it in. This is what bring forth the aura of the party, make the party scene. And I want you to keep that in mind as we go forth with it, because we also have a lot of instruments taken out of schools. It's a more rigorous training program. It's like you either square it up and go straight to school, or you out here with the rest of the peer pressure, and you're trying to squeeze $1 out of 15 cents, and that's very important. You know what I'm saying? So, okay. I'm handling a couple of things at the same time. All right, here we go. Right. One of those songs, and of course, when you play the songs on the YouTube thing, they're gonna, and even Facebook and all over the place, you get that that strike. They don't care if it's 30 seconds. They're just gonna strike it and say whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna try to talk through it as much as possible. But then you hear a song like this, the Jimmy Carter Bunch. Let's go. Jimmy Carter Bunch. Salute to that. And now to get the scene rocking, and you have 2 of those records playing at the same time, and a skilled DJ on the mix. Okay, now what does that have to do with the drugs going on from it, right? Oh, okay. What it does is put the party scene that at one time was elusive to the exclusive crowds, the beautiful people, whatever. You would hear stories of Club 54, Red Parrot, what's another one? There's so many. Wherever you are, whatever was the hottest spot around your area, Latin Quarter, it took those stories and brought them to you in your location from the neighborhood DJ. Then you also have the people in the community that were, supplying the community with what was available for their party treats, whether it be from the herb, marijuana, There's people that party with heroin, but that wasn't popular amongst the younger crowds. Even though it made, a lot of money for people. And then there was what they would call the party drug for rich people with the cocaine and, the speed, stuff like that, and keep that up energy going, right? So then, us, people knowing to be the elements of the party started to adapt into their name, something that was fly to keep people reminded of the party. And that's where you get, and I'm I'm putting my own spin to it, but from what I understand, you know, a Coca Rock comes into play. You know, Curtis Blow. Yeah, okay. Oh, just join the link. He says, yeah, join the link when they send you the code, okay? Send you the code. That's for those that want to get on to the, that's for those that want to get on to the StreamYard discussion panel. Okay, I'm multitasking, so you know, bear with me. Can I put my other music on, maybe? Maybe I can hear that a little louder. Okay. I don't like to be without sound too much. You know, there we go. A nice blend. So let me go into the next picture so you can see what I'm talking about. Hold on. You know, and the old school cops, the old school cops, they had to wear like at one time white shirt and black ties, and they had the Chevy Caprice square box cars. You know, for those that are of that age, you watch like a Starsky and Hutch, and they were like detectives, so they would have that red car with the white stripe on the side and all that. But for the most part, you know, they didn't have the heavy artillery that we have right now, flight jackets and things of that nature. So, you know, a leather car, a leather short jacket, a tie and a shirt, okay, black shiny shoes, or you know, sometimes the shiny boots, but not like, you know, high techs and Timberland boots, and just regular army boots. Everything was more, you know, streamlined to be a professional and not militaristic. The trains were flooded, flooded with expression, from great art to crazy tags. Also, the elements that they were using was, you know, from the artists were from what they were taking in. Everything from weed, you know, marijuana to heroin to cocaine. And you'll see it actually in the artwork. Okay, we said Coca Rock. Salute to him, salute to, and you know, his story. Rocking Uptown. Okay. Another one from Jamaica, like Kool Herc. You know what I'm saying? So they got that vibe of the big sounds and the clashing sounds of, you know, the yard, because they always did that after the ska period, coming off reggae artists doing doo-wop. A lot of the groups started off as doo-wop. That's how you get the Wailers. That was like a doo-wop group to basically mirror what was going on in the States, like the Impressions with Curtis Mayfield and Jerry Butler. So it goes off into the ska, which was like a sket type of thing. You know, you get a rhythm, and you get the person to put some illustrious words on the rhythm. And that's what started to go into what we call reggae and dancehall, that line. You know, but you always had the singing line as well, and this is where you get your Frankie Paul, your Beres Hammond, you know, great artists like that. So that Jamaican influence also being affected in the States, well, using what we have, which was minimal stuff, and the MC coming into effect. Remember, it was a progression. I said that in part one. The Coca Rock, old school rapper, New York City, sometimes credited as being the first MC in the history of hip hop. The first. And that's very arguable because, if you ever check out The Founding Fathers by Ron Lawrence, narrated by DJ Wiz from Kid and Play, you'll find that some of those original DJs would talk about the park jams that was going on in Queens, the park jams that was going on in Brooklyn, in Manhattan, so forth and so on. So these are like basically simultaneous things. And you're like, okay, what does drugs have to do with all this? The connections from even going to a certain spot, buying whatever your choice was, you'd meet people, and this is a new culture. This is a new thing. They thought it was a fad at one time. Of course we outgrew that. But you're meeting people in the same elements. Sometimes on good terms, sometimes on bad terms, but you're still getting those connections, those networks. And, one of the combining things is, sharing a joint. Sorry, not sorry. Of course, down the line, it becomes a vice. It needs to be shaken, but it winds up transforming into something else. Remember, the whole element, the line of it is the party. Have fun. Peace, love, unity, and having fun. Okay, so Coca Rock, one of the first ones to put it down with Kool Herc, in the Bronx, up in the Bronx where the people are fresh. There was Herc and the Herculoids. And first he had A1 Coke, then he went to Nasty Coke, then he said, okay, I'm gonna stick with Coca Rock. Why? It was the fly party thing to do. Remember, having visions and desires of what was going on in the affluent crowd of those outside places. Then we get on to a brother by the name of Curtis Blow. Blow having another name for the coca. Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Maybe this is a little too far advanced for, what the culture of civilization is and stuff like that. No, it's not. The coca plant was used for different workers in the plantations for a time so they can work harder without an appetite. Yes, these things are known, and there's records of this. Let me get this right. I want to make sure that my levels are clear. These things played a part in the labor of fashioning America, especially on the East Coast. That people were taking they were given these elements, taking these elements, right? Oh, okay, you don't want to create an account. Yeah, that's the new thing with StreamYard. So they were taking these elements and advancing them and using them for the labor. And, addictions are grown. After a while, people get paid off the addiction. It's a trick bag. So you got the early hemp growers and marijuana and big tobacco being the staple of America at one time, especially on the East Coast. Then you have the coca plant all the way from South America up, giving the workers this, and they're having lifelong addictions. Then you remove the drug and make it an extension of the culture in a way, because people in a situation is going to want to mimic the affluent. Yeah. They're going to want to share what they consider luxury on a level to say that, we party like this too. Also, the addiction is still prevalent. This is a reference point to show how we're going to end up. Okay, because an addictive personality can continue As long as the person, that person is alive and they have access to resources, all those resources will go back into the addiction. And as you see nowadays, it's all over the place. The seller has become the user. Interesting. So Curtis Blow, who's a fabulous, give him his flowers now. Curtis Blow. I say Coco Rock, Curtis Blow, give him his flowers now at this moment. I want you to think in your mind, an artist that broke into the mainstream, the first Drake. No. First Drake. Not the first Drake. I'm doing bad. Somebody that took that dream, that essence of hip hop, and threw it into something like a song called Basketball. Worldwide. Broke every type of boundary a person may have. You might have got on the court one time, and the first thing that hit, they're playing basketball. You feeling the vibe for it. And then he mentioned his heroes in the song. Oh, don't think that he wasn't gangster either. Curtis Blow was a real one, and always around real ones. But it wasn't about the promotion of what was going on behind the scenes. Can I get a witness? I'm gonna take this board out. I'm gonna take this board out soon. But I just, I like the flow of it. Keep it going. But there's a lot of echo coming from me. Let me see if I can do something else. Yeah, hello? There we go. Okay. So, they took it to the next level. They did the basketball. He did the daydreaming joint that was playing on the radio heavy. Daydreaming takes me where I want to be. So now you got the ballad mixed with the hip hop, from the rapper, and it's just being creative, expressing himself on record. And at the same time, we're playing these records, while the breakers break. Let me see if I can play you something else, because maybe you need to get back into, that trend of what we used to do. The beats need to fill your spirit. What was playing back then that'll make you rock? Maybe something like this. And I hope you can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it on the Sun Siege joint, but let's check this out right here. Too low. Hold on. I don't know if you ever heard of Soul Makusa. Come on now. Oh, that's why I got the Dodge on. Hold on. So now you got Soul Makusa playing heavy, about to do your windmills and your head spins and things of that nature. That's by Manu Dibango. And then you're waiting for that. Moments like that is what made the artist that you know today. It made a Rakim. Little portions like that. It made, a Melly Mel. It made a Trugoy, Dave Jacquelier, Posdnuos, Maceo. Little breaks like that. It made great producers like Premier, Dre. Because the momentum of it. And then knowing that, the breakers knew what to do. Very important part of hip hop. Very important part of our culture in keeping the essence of it right. Off the breaks. I played Just Begun. There's another one, set it off on the left, y'all, set it off on the right, y'all, set it off. Yo, made a buster, made a twister. Because, everything that was going on here, it was heard out west, even though they were more into the funk. And the herb culture, definitely powerful out in the west. I'd say more powerful out in the west because of the connection with the South American, the Mexican areas and stuff like that. They went heavy on the cocaine as well. They was heavy on that, and then introduced into the crack, which was poor man's freebase. So when you hear in white lines with Grandmaster Flash, don't do it, talk about freeze, rock, freeze. Freeze is what would happen on cocaine consumption. They just, part of the buzz was they just freeze up and then, speed off. The breakers were doing it, and the way of saying no was the awareness around the song, so you don't do it. Let's get back to Curtis Blow, right? Got Basketball, Daydreaming, Christmas Rap. He didn't say anything about going into the alley, copping nothing, shooting nobody. He talked about if I rule the world. If I rule the world. Not Nas' joint. Nas, he emulated. He paid homage. You're talking about Curtis Blow. Let's go in further. Blow was meant as another word for that sugar, that booger sugar. Sorry, I'm being dumb. I know. But this is the scene right here, right at the corner store, maybe circa 1978, something like that. The big boom box, maybe the Sonic, JVC. Before you get into the Pioneers, you'll get your boom box from Crazy Eddie's. Crazy Eddie's, Radio Shack. Around Highway, we had TSS and McCory's. In East New York, Brownsville, Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Everybody go to the back of pink houses or all that. That's the TSS. Take the bus down Pickin. The bus down downtown where they had Macy's and Gimbels. Past Macy's and Gimbels, get to McCurry. And then you got the record shops. The records, and this is the economy around this area at the same time. If y'all can hit the link, try to hit the link. Try to hit the damn link. They're going to ask you to all this stuff to get on, but it should be easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Let me see if I can make sure they come on right. We also want to share instructions for the guests, okay? And I can get 10 people on. That's how we working. We're cooking with fish grease. So 1978, big box, in the house you may have, your grandmama's stereo set with the amplifier, the two big speakers in the corner, and you better not play none of that fast music with the scratch on the record player. Don't go scratching on the record player, right? Let's continue. All right, I'm not going into them yet. I do want to show Big Bank Hank, right? For all those that know, another one of the first classic groups of hip hop, straight from the Sugar Hill label. Sugar Hill, think Sugar Hill. Okay, Sugar Hill. Was, what I'm saying? These three MCs were actually DJs at one point. The Sugar Hill Gang. right? Salute to Sylvia Robinson, rest her soul, and the rest of soul of Big Bang Hank. Salute to Master G and Wonder Mike. Had wonderful voices on the track. You know, where the chicken tastes like wood, all that good stuff. You play it every year. You probably got to play it. You know, you should play it every year. And the big controversy was about Big Bang Hank's verse being written by Casanova Fly. You know, the great Kaz, Grandmaster Kaz. You ain't know? You ain't know? Oh my God, you know, Grandmaster Kaz wrote that and said that, you know, homie took it. Homie took it, right? And that's how, you know, he didn't know it was going to be for something that was this big. And it was just the magic moment of, you know, hip hop potential. And it fit into the record very well, you know. But in the song, in that verse, he says, "I'm gonna get a fly girl, I'm gonna get some spank and slide off in the Death OJ." Like, what was spank? Spank was that booger sugar. Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. Spank was that damn booger sugar. Uh-huh. And you know, he's going to slide off into Def OJ, which was the orange color of the taxis, or, you know, old school car. Actually, what it was when I got hit with that, it blew my mind. I was like, what? Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. But, you know, part of the element of hip hop. Sometimes you'll say some things, you know, that matches the people or the culture in real time, and, you know, people outside the culture is like, you know, what is it? You know, the mystery of it gets to them. You know what I'm saying? So, gotta love that. Interesting story. You can research into it. Grandmaster Caz is Casanova FLY, Casanova Fly. He didn't say the letters of Big Bang Hank. He said the letters of Casanova Fly, which is Grandmaster Caz. Oh man, another place to go to for those type of hip hop tidbits is TL Cross, fabulous hip hop historian, true to the roots of the culture. I gotta give salutes to him. Where's my clappers? Clap it up. Clap it up for him. Clap it up for him. I gotta remember to take the Dodge off because, oh man, shoot. But I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Make sure you got the thumbs up in the air. And if you'd like to support, the link is in the description. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Boy, you're shaking like a stripper. Tighten up. I'm so disappointed in you.
All right, yeah, you know, there you go. Let's move on. So you got hip-hop lyrics and the sounds, people's names, drug-related. You know, you got the sounds changing after a time. You know, people are still talking about, you know, some partying stuff. People are still talking about, you know, family affairs. We're swinging off the end of 70s hip-hop R&B, which was a little more faster. You had the Temptations, you had the Whispers, you had the OJs, who was really obliterating everything out there, you know, and keeping the streets, you know, fed with some great music. Okay, we got somebody who's that coming in my window. Wow. Welcome, welcome, welcome to a wonderful, familiar voice. Round of applause. All right, all right. I can hear you, but you're a little low. Awesome. That's awesome. There we go. There we go. How you doing? Yes. Right now we're talking about some of the names. All right, we're going back to the past. Some of the names and events where drug references are used in early hip hop. Okay, and I just ended off with the lyric that Big Bang Hate said in the fabulous rhyme he did with "I'ma get a fly girl, I'ma get some spank and slide off in the Def OJ." Everybody say hotel, motel, that one. Then he said hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. If your girl start acting up, then you take her friend. Yeah. And spank was the code word or the street word for that powder. Mm-hmm. Man, you coming in and out. You coming in and out. You was loud just a minute ago. You was up. No. No. There you go. Yeah, you got to put aluminum foil at the end of the edge. There you go. Yeah, it's like a little in and out. There you go. Oh my goodness. There you go, right there. Okay, I mean, I can hear you right now. But I don't know if you're stepping away from the mic or something like that. Is it a Bluetooth you're using? Oh. Okay, yeah, see, it's like, yeah, dipping in and out. Oh. I want to hear what you got to say. But now I'm going to play a little bit of White Lines. And White Lines is that song, like, excellent for a breaker. I actually learned how to break dance off of White Lines from Grandmaster Flash, one of them songs. I used to. I'm not doing that crap. I'll break a knee, break dance. Yep. But shouts out to my friend John Lorenzo, public school, taught me how to head spin. Yeah, yeah. Salute to that. Salute to me. Being crazy enough to do that. Yep, and from the head spin into the windmill, and then you start to learn how to windmill with no hands, and it gets sick after that. You just like you wear the windbreaker jacket, and you're flying. It feels like you're flying. Your legs are just whipping in the air, and your body's just jumping off the ground. Boom, 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 and it was just all amazing. With my smart set up, oh God. Yeah, oh, you know, and I tore a lot of jeans up, knee spinning on them damn lees. I got my ass whooped a lot of times. Oh yeah, but I loved breakdancing. We get the cardboard out, and if you were really experienced, you have a little section of linoleum, that that roll up linoleum, and you just be whizzing on that, and just flying across it. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Right. And it brought everybody together. And if you was a popper, or if you was into the like with rerun, into the bebop stuff, you will wear white gloves to accentuate your moves. And the best boxers, the best fighters in the community were actually dancers. The footwork, the hand movements, all that was a coordination that you had to have. At the same time, you would have to have that in fighting. So you'll find a lot of people that knew how to do 52 blocks and how to balance themselves well, were great fighters. Yeah, so, we should never get that twisted and bring some of that dancing back. But the new dances right now, yes. It's more of an art, and it was, like you said, it wasn't sexualized, and it was communicative. Like, I start the chain for the arm, and then it ends up on your arm, and you got to pass it on to the next one. Yeah, And then we have the ciphers, the big ciphers, and then whoever was nice get into the cipher, get busy for a little bit, pass it on. Yeah. Oh my God, you're a little low now. And there you go. Come back. If you want, you could go in and come back out, or go out and come back in. Yeah. Well, we were still cooking with fish grease right now. This is the blockrepping.com. The part 1 is up already, and I was talking about the place that drugs had in the community and what was going on. But now we're talking about the people that put their references on them, and also the phrases that were monumental in this movement. Let's see if I can play a little bit of White Lines for those that need to know. That song was amazing at that time, just amazing. And we don't get paid for this, and I'm true to this. I'm not new to this. This is for our viewing pleasure and the intellectual property we respect. Where's that White Lines joint? Okay. Oh my goodness, I got like too many playlists. Gotta go back. All right, you heard So Makusa. White Lines. Vicious dreams of passion going through my mind, and all the while I think of you. White lines go away. Rock. Man, come on now. Come on, y'all. Where you at? Where you been? This was White Lines. You know what? I think it's my headset. That's what I really think it is. I'm about to do my whole setup all over again. Okay. But yeah, that's where we were with it. That's a PSA for those that were playing with their nose at that time. It's like, okay, we went that way. We started to emulate the lifestyles of the dealers at that time. You know, you got, you know, Nicky Barnes on the cover of Life magazine. Where else it could have went? You got a pivotal artist like Busy Bee, you know, on stage with, you know, some known Queens businessmen. But that's what funded early hip hop. That's what funded it. It had to. It wasn't getting money from anywhere else. And then you got, you know, courageous people like Fab Five Freddy going into the art galleries, and you got the art mixed with the hip hop, the early hip hop, and you got the alternative rockers offering up their clubs. You know what I'm saying? And that became a subculture in itself, and that's how you get these guys, Run DMC. And a great connection with Rick Rubin. See, I can put Run DMC up, you know what I'm saying? Run DMC, what the street element definitely into, you know, the public image of hip hop. Remember, the first ones were, you know, Cold Crush, you got Funky 4 plus one more. You know, you got what's the other? Cold Crush, Funky 4. Oh yeah, Problems of the World Today with Mike C. Fearless 4. They were emulating the funk level. You know what I'm saying? With the tight leather, you know, the one raccoon tail on the back of the neck. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of bangles in your arm. It was the funk level from George Clinton and Bootsy Collins, Ohio players. You know what I'm saying? Was still delivering good music, but the entertainment part of it, they didn't dress like that in their regular life, you know. Then you got some people that was, and then they became the freaks that come out at night that Houdini was talking about. Also, you know, people stopped separating the party scene from the street scene. So now you're showing up to the place more casual, and you're also taking these drugs and narcotics more casually as well. So when I said that crack was the poor man's freebase, only because the selected group, which was mostly Caucasian affluent people, had access to the good drugs. And then the freebase came into effect. And then you got the Reagan era with the tricklenomics. You know what I'm saying? And then they was able to take the freebase and make it even more accessible and cheapen the party drug at the time. So the closest that a person that could get to affluence became the poorest part of destruction in crack. Which when that hit, it decimated a person's life because they was always chasing the high from the cocaine. This is hip hop and drugs. Getting drugged. Getting drugged. But it's important because it's the inner fabric of everything that we deal with in reality now, from the militarization of the police, like I showed you earlier, where they was at one time just had a revolver. You know, a revolver in the billy club. And now you got, you know, the military pants, the camo pants, and ARs, and the hitting guns, and body cams. Because also some levels of the villains, some levels of the people that were really out there, you know, doing these atrocities, they stepped it up. You know, treachery and, you know, beheading people and stuff like that, you know. It got out of control. You got kids that were being millionaires, then getting access to hand grenades, rocket launchers. You got the guy in Chicago had a rocket. There's a few of them, but, and then nowadays you could see it, but back then it was there. It was there. Not to get too far off, right? So we go into the say no go, crack kills, say no to drugs, the campaign followed by Nancy Reagan, and this is what she was on. Say no to drugs. Okay, this is right here on the screen. You got the Grandmaster Flash and everybody trying to giggle in this picture, but they were being entertainers here. It wasn't walking around the street looking like my man shouts the Scorpio. The cowboy boots and the yellow tighty whities. Chill. Oh my God. Oh my God. Looking wild. Melly Mel. There was he had the tight compression Bud Light shirt on. You know what I'm saying? There was some wild zestiness going on, but like I said, it wasn't, it was the masculinity of it. Let me shut that down. The masculinity of it. You wanted the women to see how fit you were, and the package was delivering. You wanted the women to see that, so you know that you was a man's man. But at that time also there was some freak stuff going on. Like people was coming and showing out. They was showing out. So you had to definitely gotta be careful, with the company you was around. Yeah, you walk into the wrong club, you got the handlebar mustache dude after you. I'm sorry, let me walk on. This street is dangerous. But our expression is everywhere. And as you see in this picture right here, the Spanish brothers on the train, and everybody, it wasn't even a ethnicity thing going on. You was down because you was with the culture. I see 3 stripes on your side of your arms and your legs. I know you're Adidas. Chances are you're a breaker. You got a vest with the painted name on the back and stuff like that. Maybe you're into the gang culture and you want to get out, and this is your way to deliver yourself through breakdancing, through tagging, through graffiti. Now you're involving yourself in different groups and connecting across the city, even across the states. So it was a code that was unspoken. You understand? And even in that, I share a joint, share a buzz, a little bit of beer, some Night Train, Wild Irish Rose, whatever you was into, it was there. Somebody had it. You're a younger person around older people. You know what I'm saying? And you just getting groomed into knowing certain steps in hip hop, where to go. You might find a 16-year-old able to go into the Union Square and get down. The whole purpose, and that's why you see in my other screen when I show is like certain people were able to get behind the rope. Behind the rope means you had a job to do. Protect the DJ, carry some records, make sure the electric cord don't get stepped on, light security, and that's the essence of it all. Where did we take it now? We start moving forward to where the song started getting angrier. The message started getting blurred, and it went from a person that's having stuff to use for themselves to now they're owning pounds. They're owning pounds, and they're coming up with work. Now they pushing the stuff. And then you see the glorification. It all starts from Scarface. A lot of it. The vision of a dishwasher seeking to be the #1 supplier of the thing that gets you higher. Oh, I should write that in the rhyme, right? Nasty with it still. Yo. But that was the case. And not to just put everything on Scarface, because it was just a movie. But the vision of it is accessible, especially when, you see it already flying in your face. People had cars with telephones in it already. You know, the advancement of the different, it went from suits. Dealers wore suits. Uh-oh, the dealers wore the suits. Yeah. Nice, nice silkskin suits, sharkskin suits, quarterfields, some gators, some lizards, and cleaning in the board of health. Then, it got casual, and that's when they started throwing on the jogging suits. With some real fancy Italian sneakers or some European sneakers. You understand? And you wanted to get something that nobody else got, so you'd be the first one to be seen with him. Like, yo, you're jumping off heavy. So you got the Gucci, the Gucci with the green joints, the green and red joint in the back. The stuff that Sean Carter did over. Shouts to him. He knew what was up. He got a nice little suit going on, little jogging suit, some chains, some rings popping out. And you become what they call the big man. Oh yeah, all across every community, there's what they call the big man. The big man, it doesn't necessarily have to be the man. It could be a woman that pops out like that. But, most importantly, it's a man because he's a leader, as seen in the society that we live. So when he pops out with the jewelry and stuff like that, he's taking advantage of his position to be seen in the community as a leader. That doesn't necessarily mean he is. Could be a bully of others, could be an extortioner. Could be the biggest clown. There were some of those. But then there was the legit ones that knew the game and knew that we still had to have manners coming up. There were certain things that had to be done in the dark, but not done in the light. You understand what I'm saying? So still there was a line that separated the dealer from the user and the entertainer. And then the entertainer started telling the story. But in order to gain more fame, or even, it went from bigging up the big man, the dealer, to wanting to become him. To want to become him. So now your name is Third Street Shooter. Now your name is Third Street Shooter. Okay, so now we got good artists out here that, they were able to write their way into a better way of life. Scarface. Cool genius of rap, Scarface. You know what I'm saying? You got neighborhood names like Ice Cube, because he's cold as ice. You know what I'm saying? Easy-E, because it's easy for him to do the things that he do. You know what I'm saying? Then you got more harder names out there. What would you go with a harder name? That's when you start putting guns to it. Guns and tons of drugs. You know what I'm saying? It start moving into that lane. But the name you chose spoke a lot about you. The 5% Nation, represented well by Rakim. Represented well by Rakim. And it made other people wanted to follow suit. So Onyx, shining black stone, hard black stone. You know what I'm saying? Positive K. It wasn't negative K. It was positive K. Public enemy number one. That is the army. That is the... Oh, man. Can enough flowers be given to them? Can enough flowers be given to them? They knew and understood the position of the B-boy, because that's who the public enemy is. The public enemy number one was the B-boy, so it became the logo of the group, showing that hip-hop will always be targeted and under attack as long as the B-boy knows himself. That's why, and I said it was like in 3 different lives, maybe 4 different live streams. I told you that's why you got to get deeper into what Public Enemy was doing. That's the hip hop from the child to the man. That 50-year-old hip hop went through all of it. Yo, Bum Rush the Show. Takes a nation of millions to hold us back. Fear of a Black Planet. Music in the Hour of Chaos. You start to get into it, you see. Uncle Chuck wasn't off. Salute to Uncle Chuck, yo. Salute to Flav, salute to Professor Griff. They minimalized it now because if the image is too strong, and the people start following it, it becomes a threat to the status quo. And, within the status quo is corruption. And some people don't want to get rid of the corruption. It's profitable. So we'll make sure that other groups who talk about the community a little harder than you get to play. So they even diverted what the NWA's caused when they first came in. Express yourself. F the police. That was a call to action, mostly. It was a call to action for the awareness of this is what's going on in our neighborhood. Not to actually do anything to the police, but to arm ourselves with more intelligence and more courageousness to step out and say, no, we're not going to accept the brutality. And that message wasn't put clear enough. And like I said, express yourself. Easy does it. He wasn't talking about a whole bunch of craziness going on. Eazy-E. That first album, oh man, tremendous. Tremendous. Boy, you should have known by now. Easy does it. Who y'all come to see? Easy. Love that album. But it gets swept into controversy and the conspiracies of changing the narrative. So now everybody on the west side of things get blamed while, there's crime all over the place. All this stuff is coming from somewhere. We don't make the guns. We don't make the drugs. We happen to use the drugs. And when I say use, it's not necessarily you actually using the drugs. At one point, it was like, no, we're not using it. We're going to use it to sell to others. Because that was supposed to have been the purpose. Like, we're trying to get paid. These people coming around our way, they doing this, they into this. Why you here? I'm the man to see. Take it and keep it moving. And then it turned to, wow, that teacher that was down the block, she's using now too. And now the principal's using. And now the jobs are less. Now, now everything is getting tight. And now the morals start to get mixed up. And this is where it really gets ugly and dark. But now you're selling to people that are pregnant. You got career users, coming through, stealing everything. Then you got murders of people that come up short. Then you got more ruthless dealers because everything starts to shrink. Or you got people that just want everything for themselves and only see the luxury of having things as a means of importance, not feeding the community. They'll settle for that on Thanksgiving and Christmas, serving turkeys and stuff. But there was also a time where, kids were sent to school. Families' rents were paid. New jobs and businesses getting opened for a change of life. We don't talk about how many people changed their life, after coming into an epiphany and saying, I did this much to destroy, then now it's time to rebuild. It decimated everything. And like I said, when it starts to come into that full influence, people start taking the names. Then it turned into the mob names. Gambino, Luciano, Alfredo. Somebody walking around talking about I'm MC Fettuccine. Because I get fatty. You know what I'm saying? It turned into that. It got, it went from, the ridiculous into the sublime, as they say. It really went into some weird space. And people started to actually move like that, and then some people really dropped the ball because it wasn't built for them like that. They just wanted to be around the circle. I just, when I was doing this, I was researching a couple of things, and I just got into that chat GPT, right? So I said, let me check this out, see what they're talking about, right? The chat GPT, when I said drug names or names with drug references, hope I still got it. Come on, what's that? Okay, here we go. I put in names of hip hoppers. Names of rappers with drug references in the name. Okay? I got like Gucci Mane. Yeah, there you go. It's coming up now. I got Gucci Mane because Gucci is the designer wear of, the preferred designer wear of drug dealers, right? Lil Wayne, cause Lil is another connotation for cocaine or crack. Lil. I never heard that crap. I never heard of that before. Sunseeds people, you heard of that before? Oh man. Future, because the future of him was due to design of what it said, medicated drugs, drug use. So he's the future of it all. Travis, cause Trav is short for a drug. I was like, what? They put 2 Chainz down. I don't know why they even do that. That was crazy. That was crazy. So names of rappers, rapper names with drug references. Lil Baby, they put Lil Baby in because Little again is like crack, and Baby is another name for crack. I'm like, or cocaine. I'm like, what? Who comes up with this? This is the chat GPT. So, y'all into that, y'all get a load of that. Come on now, guys. The community involved, things get faster around the 80s because of the, the drug, crack, and the paraphernalia. Then it comes the drug war, boom, TNT. If anybody ever went through that, they throw all your stuff out in the street. Everything. They arrest everybody, indict whole blocks. Quality of life is crazy. The drug war, that's what it is. The drug war is war on the poor. Bottom line. And you say why that is? How did that stuff still keep coming in? Yeah. But it's always up to the society, to the group to accept it. Then if you make it your own, it becomes a new reality. Okay? And then you got people that start to compete with how tough they are to consolidate what they're into. So high-powered machine weapons, more ice than everybody. We all, we got a whole team of 25. We're iced out. Iced down medallions. Salute the Royal Flush. I love that song right there. Crack kills. Hold on. You would see that all over the place. Crack kills. And, it was effective because after a while people stop. Stop. You'll be pressed to find I don't like to use that disparaging term. A person that has abused the substance of crack is better than saying crackhead, right? Because we don't judge the person, we judge the activity. So, you're very hard pressed to find that. You will still find heroin addicts. Okay, you will still find that. And now, because of fentanyl, you definitely see it peak out. So if you can, take a class in the Narcan distribution and find out what that is, because it is an epidemic. And the the crack was an epidemic as well. Yeah. 2016, it was finally announced. So that's a public health crisis as well. Okay, we talked about Curtis Blow, Coke Rock. Get a fly girl, get some spank. The fashions, like I said, it changed at that time. People used to wear suits, and now, from the suits, the leisure suits, and the nice gaiters and everything like that started to turn into Converses, the Nikes, the feet, not the Realize, but, Lecoq Sportif and Elise. Those are like the lesser known. But like I said, New Balance was big in D.C. Salute to them. Yeah. Yep. So now you have your gym shoes of choice. You might still have one of the, once in a while, somebody have an old time mob hat. For the most part, they'll have the trucker hats. Okay. You might have a sailor hat on. Initial chains. Then those initial chains turn into the truck jewelry, the big truck ropes and stuff like that. Shout to Mechalopolis on Instagram, Mechaopolis. Great curator of the truck jewelry phase and Gully TV as well. They're really involved into that, looking into that culture and peering more into how it influenced the hip hop entities to wear big ropes. Because you don't do that stuff when you don't have money. Once you get the money, you throw it on your body. It's a I don't know. It's a ancestor spiritual thing. Throw it on your body just to prove that you floating like that. Okay, let's see my stream health. You're looking crazy on the stream health. Thanks a lot, YouTube. There you go. Excellent. Okay. Moved on to that. And right now, if you're ever in New York, up until April, there's a great exhibit about hip hop fashion, and they'll go through the whole dating timeline from the beginning fashion, like I said, with the suede fronts and the canvas shoes and stuff like that. All the way up into what we're dealing with now, the Kanye season with the slides and stuff like that. And so you might see a Taylor, and you might see a Kango like the one I got on, famous by LL Cool J. And MC Shan too. There was a battle. MC Shan said he was like the first one wearing the Kangos, and LL was like, nah, this is. So it was a friendly battle. Shouts to Queens. I said I have to throw one on right now just to let you know I'm fully focused and into it. Say no to drugs at the campaign. They call it windows down. All right? But there we have it. We can, I wanted to be able to go into some of the things right now, especially, you got artists that are great artists, but, their name kind of indicts them, and now you see the lyrics are indicting these guys too, especially when it comes to drill rap, which is unfortunate. A lot of these, this is their way of making something out of nothing. And, they are getting a mass amount of money, but you don't get to see it. You don't get to live and experience it if your life is taken too short, or if you get incarcerated in such a short time. Kind of like the same problematic issues that the young drug dealers had. Coming up in the game when crack was heavy. Like I said, you have millionaire, 14, 15 years old, a millionaire, and, next thing you know, he's gone, or, have somebody locked up 45 years of their life. Done. They just, trapped behind the wall, buried alive, You know, 60 years, 80 years, what they was calling football numbers. You know, behind this music, and it's not the music itself, but it's the lifestyle that people wanted to perpetuate with the music. Wanted to be the big man. And, you know, this is why it was important for De La Soul to come out. This is why it was important for YZ, you know, the whole native tongue movement. With Rizecast, you know, who else? There's a bunch more. I mean, like, even the players down south. You know, this was important for Outkast to come out. You know, because we was getting trapped with the lifestyle, and people that's in the lifestyle say, well, instead of just hiring artists and let them talk about my life, I'd rather talk about it myself. But you might not necessarily have, you know, the vocabulary or the style, you know, of hip hop to do that. But, you know, you paying for the studio time, and it's, you know, free country, gonna let things slide if it looks nice on stage at a time. But the same moral compasses are changed. So now they'll throw the women out there to be props, to get props. The chain is a prop. The gun on the waist is a prop. So, you know, you go back to what Dave was talking about in It's So Easy, the song It's So Easy, and he talks about the only Italians you know was ices, so price me. You know, he's seen how people was taking those criminal elements and putting them into them because of the influence, but not being effective with the influence. But instead of copying what they're doing, you're copying the names that they're having. You understand? It's not functional. Copy what they're doing as far as, you know, they go from a negative to a positive. You know, they went from, you know, the gangland stuff to forming unions around people that are working, pipe fitters, plumbers, electricians, so forth and so on, through the kids in school, make sure they come back, learn the law enforcement, learn carpentry, learn how to build houses, contracting, and then you form a union around it. Then you have an industry on lock. So instead of being consumers, now you're a producer. Hip-hop being 50, very important. Instead of being a consumer, become the producer. It's a grown-up thing to do. We're not looking to hear Nas and Jay-Z talk about what they did 30, 40 years, or 30, I say 40. We're not going to hear about Nas and Jay-Z talk about what they did 25, 30 years ago. You want to see what transpires now in the head of somebody that went through that. And for the youth, we want to hear how we can continue on without destroying each other. How we can continue on in a fly mode without destroying each other or pricing each other out of existence. Because right now, it's all about how much you're worth than, you know, what you're willing to build with what you have. AZ, life's a bitch. My mentality is money, you're being dated. You're destined to live the dreams of all the people that never made it. Because, yeah, we were beginners in the hood as 5%ers, but something must have got in us because all of us turned to sinners. Okay, let's rewind a little bit more back, right? You said, if my mentality is, well, no, before that was a person's status depends on salary. And when it got to that, it got cold. It got cold. Yo, his whole verse broke down the pubescence of hip hop. Right there. His whole verse right there. The coming of age. AZ laced it. I mean, talking about right on track. AZ laced it. So if you want to get to know what, you know, certain things and certain times that hip hop is about, you get into lyrics like that. You get into lyrics like "Say No Go." Let me see if I can play that too. That's it. You know what? I'm not gonna play that. Salute the De La. Because they would strike it. No, yeah, I'm gonna do all that. I ain't gonna do all that. But me, myself, and I, "Say No Go." It's so easy. Um, Afro Connections at High Five. Oh man, Dave was just amazing. Paz is just, these guys are geniuses on the mic. These guys are geniuses. Writing, style, penmanship, running it off, and there'll never be another De La. We hope to get close to it. We hope to get close to it. People really understand the force that they have. Just like MF Doom. People didn't understand how deep MF Doom was until, unfortunately his demise. Jay Dilla, I say, all of them. Yeah. We got a lot to consider. And now, at the stage we're in with drill rap, the biggest drug is attention. People just want to be seen. So it's all on the gram. It's what I can do for the gram. How many followers I got. Can I go viral? It was World Star, World Star, yeah. And the attention being the drug, anything can transpire. Any person can say anything about themselves. Throw whatever image out there. Put dog ears on and pack crap on their face to get an attention. Just to get a look. And if you eat it up, if you become a part of the community that likes it, look down the list of what I got as videos, and you will see the AI rapper. I think I got it on. It's on there. I forgot his name. They actually signed him to a deal. He's not even a real person. Not even a real person, but it captivated you with imagery. The first AI rapper. So if you fall for the illusion, you can be X'd out the equation. If you fall for the illusion, you could be X'd out of the equation. Know the drug of choice right now is as attention. So now it's not out of your hands. It's not a physical thing anymore. But the drug that's poisoning everyone is the fentanyl. All right. And there's a lot of groups, a lot of programs, a lot of resources, a lot of money is being thrown to get that out of here. Because everybody's together in one spot. Just saying, that's the way of the world right now. So if you want to be addicted to anything, be addicted to life. So the names can change. We have wonderful breaths of fresh air in Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Father was that Fahim. Salute to everybody in the HHDG crew, Seven the Panther, right? Contra Culture, Ryan Lionheart and Jim Boots, right? Spotless Minds with the new track out there, yeah. Reef the Hustle. Reef has got some phenomenal stuff out there. Phenomenal. Right back to where New York need to be. But points and beyond too. So many great talented artists that need your promotion. That need you to be the community to boost them up. So when we put on the music and plug it into the street light, their songs come up. And not a song about destroying yourself. And you don't have to take a substance to have fun. You don't. You know what I mean? So let's get that right. I'm glad you came through. I had to get this off my chest. This is for the time capsule. That is the block repping. Come on, man. That's what I do. Hold on. What I do. Where my clap at? Stop playing with me.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
I am with it. So I'll be up a little here more, more often. I'm just doing a lot, putting things in perspective, and also I'll be doing my own promotions. So, there's a lot of things in my hand. I'm like an octopus plus 5 more. So there's a lot of tentacles going on, but it's all gravy. I mean, okay. Thank you for coming out. Wellness, oneness to you and yours. May y'all get together with peace, love, unity, and have freaking fun. Stop playing. Let's go. Yeah, I'm slow with this.